Good morning. Happy Thursday, folks. How you guys doing? All right. We are going to wrap up Chapter 9 today. We did wrapper classes on Tuesday. We didn't really get to the text processing part, but we did a lot about the wrapper classes, so that was good, I think. All right. And then we'll be ready to move on. Project 2. Still, hopefully you guys are working on that. It's coming up due soon. We talked a little bit about what a card class might look like and how you could sort them very easily on Tuesday. So that'll be super helpful if you don't want to have to sort things by hand. And I'm usually the kind of person who says, let's not do something by hand if we can, make something do it automatically for us, because that's a lot easier, right? Just have to add that little compare to method, and we should be pretty good. So we looked at comparing, what did we compare? I should open up NetBeans. Let's open up NetBeans and take a peek. We're out of coffee already. That's unfortunate. My energy drinks. It's going to be a rough day today. Rough day. I'll just drink one of these. Not as interesting. Oh, I do have my... Maybe I can drink one of those. Grab one of those in a little while. All right, come on, let's load NetBeans. All right. Right, project's due in 1 week, right? Yeah, 6 p.m. a week from today. So please start early on that. I keep getting lots of last minute questions about projects and things that are, like the day before they're due. And it's much harder to help you if you folks wait until the day before it's due. All right. Don't forget the Chapter 8 quiz is coming up as well. That's due by tomorrow, 11:59 p.m. So get that one in for me, please. And then we've got group tutoring today at 4. All right, awesome. All right, here's our Chapter 9. Let's see. Yep, here we go. So we were looking at card. We just said face minus face. Again, this was just an integer. We didn't actually do any of the enum stuff. You guys will have to take care of all that. But we use this magic here of implements. This will make a little bit more sense later too. I don't think you got into implementing interfaces in 1500. So don't worry too much. We'll come back to what that all means later. But if we're doing that, and we have a compare to method, then we should be in good shape. We should be able to sort ourselves using the arrays sort. Right, like that. You can just sort. Because that way then we got the values from low to high. Right, after we put our cards in, we were able to sort by value, which was really cool. And you can tell it how you want to sort them. Right? Okay. Let's see. I'm going to close that one. All right, should we keep on should we move on? Yeah, we're playing with some enums, looking at these ordinals, comparing ordinals, right? So with the compare to, negative if it's less than the other, 0 if it's equal to the other, and positive if it's greater than the other. All right, awesome. All right, wrappers. We had more to do with strings too. We didn't get into all the string stuff either. So we can do more text processing with strings. That's right. All right. So strings are really cool. We can actually do a lot with strings. So let's come down here and maybe we'll ask the user to enter something. So your, I don't know, we'll ask them what's the weather. What's the weather like? And then we'll input that. So we'll have a string for weather. Is my keyboard dot next line. And then again, just some silly things that we can do with strings, right? We have all sorts of options to check the contents of the string. We can look at individual characters, see if they're letters, if they're numbers, if they're white spaces. It's common to do substrings, so we can take a portion of that string if we wanted, and then just cut out a piece of it. Let's see, we could try starts with, there's a starts with, there's an ends with, which is fun. So we can say, let's see if weather dot And we got all sorts of options. Dot. Here we go. Different things we could check, right? If it starts with something, if it ends with something, if it has a region, so one piece matches another piece. This one's a little bit trickier. Regexes are amazing and super powerful, but they're really complicated as well. So these regular expressions are regex. It's giving a pattern to a string to see if it matches something. So I don't think it's anything we get into, but know that it's there and they're really cool. This index of, and looking for particular characters or last index of, we can find if there's a given character in there. We can replace, right? Replace characters at a time, which is a lot of fun. You can send the whole thing to lowercase, the whole thing to uppercase. And we've looked at doing that, like when we compare our strings, but usually it's easier to just compare with, equals ignore case and not have to worry about any of that. Trim is really nice. Trim will take off any white space at the beginning and the end. Actually, so we don't need an if there. So whether dot, we want to say if it starts with or ends with, or maybe index of another string. So if the index of sun, or maybe sunny, so if they said sunny somewhere in there, remember index of is going to give you the starting index of where it is. So it's going to be from 0 up to the end, if it's in there. So it's the index of where this word starts. If it's not there, it gives you a -1. So if the index is greater than or equal to 0, it must exist. What's this? Starting index, or -1 if it's missing. So if it has the word sunny in it, this index should be positive, right? So maybe we'll tell them, don't forget your sunscreen. It's gotta be sunny, and you need sunscreen out here in the middle of winter, right? You don't want to get a sunburn. That'd just be embarrassing to sunburn in the winter. Right, and if it's not there, well, then the word sunny, if it's not greater than or equal to 0, then it's not sunny. We're not going to print out a message here. So maybe we could tell them something else, or we could check a different value. So, and with index of, right, I don't think we have, so it just gives us a string here. So there's no way to compare casing. So we probably actually want this to lowercase first, then to look for the index of something that's all lowercase. Right? Because otherwise, if they had a capital S, like if it was the first thing they said, it's sunny with a chance of meatballs or something, with a capital S, our index of would fail. So making sure that we're going to change the case of it first is going to be helpful. Let's see if we can get that. It's thinking about running. There we go. Number, sure. Name. What's the weather like? And we'll try some capital letters, right? Sunny and cold. All right, and so it picked up that it existed. We'll try one more time. Excuse me. And if it's not sunny, right, we're not going to get any message, or maybe we'll try it at the end, or let's say cloudy. Cloudly, and we don't get our message. Right, so index of is pretty cool. We could take pieces of our string and split them up into groups if we wanted, or you use the substring and say, okay, well let's chop out every certain letter here. We could do the replacing. I'm trying to find all the other fun things you can do with strings. And fun's a bit of a stretch. It's a bit of a stretch. Yeah, index of substring. Replace trim. Okay. Yeah. That's just fun stuff, but it's not, doesn't make for great examples. Streambuilder is really cool. Streambuilder is really fun. So there's a way that we can do things more efficiently if we're going to be doing a lot of appending. So remember, when you take a string, like some results, and it starts off as nothing, and then we might say, I don't know, for number 0 was less than 10, plus plus, like, I don't know, we'll just ask them to enter something, or a number. Why does it hate my phone? Oh, okay, number. We already used number. That's fine, we'll just put number back to 0. We'll take result and just add keyboard.next line and add in a space maybe. And we'll add our result. So you might have seen something like this. We're going to take a string and we're going to just add to it a bunch of times over and over and over and over and over again. And if you think back to what we know about strings, right? Strings are immutable and they can't change. So anytime we make another string, we have to take a copy of that string, move it over here, put the new thing on. Right? And then make a copy of that one, put the new thing on. Make a copy of that one, put the new thing on. So we're making a copy of result 10 times, each time adding the next thing and adding the next thing and adding the next thing and adding the next thing. Right? It's very memory inefficient to be doing this. It works, and we're not really going to notice that it's super slow, but it's bad practice. So we'll leave a little note here. This is memory inefficient. Making new copies. So it turns out there's a better way. There's a better way. So the better way is to use the thing called Streambuilder. Streambuilder. Okay? And if you know how big it is, like about how many characters you're going to have, you can throw in a character amount here. But if we don't, that's okay. So Streambuilder lets us create strings dynamically without being memory inefficient. It doesn't have to do all that copying over and over and over and over and over again. It's more efficient. It uses a buffer behind the scenes, which is really cool. Nope, that's the wrong window. That's the wrong window. This one here is the window I wanted. Right, so Streambuilder can do a lot of similar things. We can check Streambuilder for a lot of, index of. We can even substring stuff inside of Streambuilder. But typically what we do then is we run a loop and we're going to call append instead. So we can do the same operation, but instead of result, it's our builder.append. And we're going to append the next line. And then we're going to append the new line. Or a space, right? I had a space in there. So I didn't want to do them at the same time here, right? Because I didn't want to do the string concatenation and have to make a copy. I'm going to use append each time, and then when we're done, we can print out builder.toString. And it'll give us the result. So using Streambuilder, builder is memory efficient, doesn't have to make copies. Every change. So this is a much cleaner, much more efficient way to do something if we're going to be changing our strings, which is really cool. So, and really this toString here, we don't actually need. You can just output builder, because anything you put in a print line, right, is going to try and turn itself into a string, that sort of thing. So again, we're not going to notice the difference here. when we run it, it's going to look exactly the same to us because we're at a small scale. So the amount of memory it takes to copy, 10 things is not too bad. So we just enter a bunch of things. Just jam on the keyboard. Right, it doesn't seem like it's any different because it was happening really fast. But if we're doing this at scale, doing this lots and lots and lots of times, doing it, on a smaller system, you got to be careful of memory. It's easy for us to be a little bit lazy and say, oh, well, computers have a lot of memory. We don't really care if we're doing a bad thing. And sure, that was fine for 1500. And honestly, it's mostly fine here for this class. But when you get into data structures, you learn that, well, really, it's actually not fine because we don't know what people are going to be doing with our data structures. And if we're memory inefficient or time inefficient, we take too much time to do these operations, it's going to be bad downstream for people using our classes. So we want to do a better job. Okay. So Streambuilder is one of those ways we can do better jobs. Let's see. Let's for fun, I want to come back and play with that substring because we didn't do anything with substring yet. So let's use Streambuilder and substring together. We're going to do like a secret code here. Okay. So let's ask them to enter a word for us to into a secret code or secret message. And just for fun, we're going to see if we can use substring to take chunks and Streambuilder. Then we're going to have Streambuilder secret message. There's a new Streambuilder. So we'll have a string for the original message. Keyboard.next line. It'd help if you could spell keyboard, next line. Okay. And so if we have our original message, you can do this substring, and substring can ask for two things: the beginning index to the end, or beginning index and an ending index. And it doesn't take the actual last index. Right? It's index -1. So like, where do we stop at an index? So if you want, just for fun, if we said from 0 as the start to the length of a string, you'd get the entire string because there's no index at the last position. Remember, indexes are 0-based. So there's no index at the length index because that's one too many because we're 0-based. So we have 0, 1, 2. So in Eric, right, 4 letters, E-R-I-C, we have indexes 0, 1, 2, and 3. So if I said substring 0 to 4, I'd get 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we want to be doing this. The idea is we're going to take the message and we're going to slice it up. So we're going to try and take, let's see what we get here. Let's give it a message and let's see if we can figure out what we're going to be getting here. So we'll say the key is under the mat. Okay, so this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I think that's 23 if I counted right. 19, 20, 20. Okay, that looks right. So if we just want to take every other letter, right, let's take every other letter. So we'd have T, E, K, Y, I, space, N, E, space, H, space, M, T, and then we add in the odd letters. So we'll take all the even ones, and we'll add in all the odd ones. So then H, space, E, space, S, U D R T E. Oh, I might be off here. That's okay. A, sure. I'm probably off, but that's sort of the idea, right? So if we take every other letter, we'll get this nonsense gibberish thing here. So let's see if we can do that. So we want to take every other letter. So we're going to say for int, these are even indexes, starts at 0, and as long as the even index is less than our original message dot length, I'm going to take even index plus equals 2. Now you don't see this all that often, right? Anything other than a plus plus in a for loop, but you can, right? Just go by 2 every time. So we're going to take our secret message. I'm going to append. Oops. Secret message.append. There we go. Our original message, substring, from even index to even index plus 1. Right? Just take just the one letter. So start here, end at that same character. Right? Goes plus 1. Oops. I think that's a junk call, sorry. We'll append those in. And then we're going to do the same thing here now for odd indexes. After we've done all that, so we'll have odd index is 1. Odd index is less than the length, odd index plus plus, from odd index to odd index plus 1. And we'll see if we can print out our secret message. Okay, let's see how we did. Let's try it. One sunny. Okay, what's our value? So we said the key is under the mat. Oops, nope, I'm in the enter gibberish values. I forgot. Okay, there we go. Enter a word for us to return a secret message. A word should have been like a sentence. Key is under the mat. Hey, look at that. We got pretty close, right? What do we have? Come on, there we go. What did I come up with? T-E-K-I blank N-E blank H blank. Okay, so that's where we messed up. Okay. What do you think? We okay? Is that you know, use that substring a little bit to make this kind of nonsense gibberish? And I think we could put it back. We take the secret message and put it back to the original message. That one's a little harder, right? Because how many characters is this? Right, what's the secret message dot length? Yeah, let me comment out some of this stuff so it doesn't run. Yeah, I'll comment out the old ones. There's a shortcut, I'm forgetting what it is. Source toggle comment. Control slash, there we go. Control slash. Let's see what the length is. Under the mat. Okay, so 24. So that worked out well. So we know half, right? So if we take the halfway point, right, that's our middle. I think it's the H here, right? It's 12 on this side and 12 on that side. So if we were 25, we would have an extra even, right? Is that right? If our length was 25, or we'd have an extra odd. The 0. Yeah, because right now we have indexes 0 to 23. So we'd have an extra even if we were one longer. Okay. Okay, I think we can do this. Let's try it, right? So let's see, let's have a string builder for new message equals a new string builder. String builder, there we go. And now we need to loop. Right? This is the tricky part. So we have the even characters, right? And then we're going to have the odd characters. And we have to loop through from beginning to end, putting them in the right order. So we're going to say, because we only want to go through the first half. So I think we'll have an extra character. Okay, so let's have an int for, this is the even index start is 0. And I'll have an int for the odd index start. Now, we would think it would be secret message length divided by 2. And if we divide that by 2, but that's not going to work all the time. Right? I think we actually want to do the length minus the length divided by 2. I think this will work better, because if the length is 25, our integer division will still give us 12. And that way we start at character 13. I think is what it is. I think that's what we want to do. And there we go. I think that'll give us the right arithmetic. And now we need to loop as many times as we get to less than the start here for our even indexes. Because we want to take the first one of even and the first one of odd, and then move on and move on and move on and move on. So I think we can do that. Let's see. So if that's 12 and 0. I think it'll work. So let's loop. We'll say I don't know, how about while my even index start times 2 is less than the secret message length. And then we'll take our new message and we'll append in there my secret message substring of my even index start to even index start plus plus, or no, plus 1. That'll take one letter, and then we want the odd letter of the odd index start to the odd index start plus 1. And those need to both increase then, right? Plus plus and odd index start plus plus. I guess we could have done that in a for loop, but that's okay. So let's see. So that might do it for us. And then we can print out our new message. Right, so take the first one and then take that where the odd index started in the middle and append them. And then we're just going to keep moving in that order. Let's see if that reverses it for us. All right, the key is under the mat. Keys under the mat. All right, so that worked there with a length of 24. I think if it's 25, we're going to have problems. Let's try it. Let's just add one more character and see if it works for us. That's right, any code that's worth writing is worth testing. And we're going to test it out. So the key is under the mat exclamation mark. Oh, yep. Index out of bounds. That's what it's afraid of. And that happened at line 122. Yep. So the odd was no good. So odd got too far here. So we need to check and only do this if odd index start is less than the secret message length. Right? Okay, give it a format. Let's give that a try. That might be enough to fix it. All right, the key is under the mat, exclamation mark. All right, look at that. Oh, hydration, thank you. Thank you, Throw. That's right, I never figured out how to get chat showing up on the screen here. I gotta come back to that. I think there was an easy way to do it, but I didn't take the time. It didn't work after like 10 minutes, so I gave up. All right, so this is better, right? And we're checking our cases, making sure we work for odd length and even length. I guess we should make sure it still works for even after this point, right? Because we changed something. That's what I wish we had unit tests for. We should have written some unit tests, but we did not. Oops, that's not a number. I did the wrong thing. Enter a number. Sunny key is under the mat with an even number. Okay, good. It still works. Oops, no. Did I type it in wrong? Oh, I did. Okay, I typed it wrong. All the postures have. Thank you. Yep, I'm getting a little slouchy here. Let me get out my backboard. Cool. So we can do a little bit of word scrambling here with our indexes for fun. How's that feel? Here we're just playing with Substring and Streambuilder because that's the more efficient way. Yep. Sure, replacing more methods. Yep, those are good. And then another fun thing we can do is you can split. So that's a real common operation. We can take a string and split it into tokens. So here's a nonsense thing, and this is fun. This is fun. Let's create these as methods here. Public string. We'll call, what do we want to call it? Like scramble. Scramble word or scramble. Sure. Takes a string to scramble, and then we're going to return that. We're going to take all this, put it in here. It's our to scramble, right? And then we're going to return our secret message. Now this time we can't just return secret message, right? Because it's not the right type. And it says, oh, a Streambuilder can't be converted to string. So now we have to call explicitly to string here. Okay, and then we'll write an unscramble method, public string unscramble, given a string to unscramble. Right, and we'll do this process over here. Okay, and then we'll return, that's the to unscramble, right? To unscramble. Return, what do we call it? New message. Sure, why not? To string. Okay, so we enter a message, and then the string secret message equals scramble. Did I do something wrong? Oh, they gotta be static, right? Yeah. Static. There we go. Scramble. There we go. Scramble the original message. And then we'll put it back. So string new message is unscramble. given the scrambled one. No, we want unscramble. That was a bad one. Unscramble the secret message. It tried to suggest some words and it didn't work. All right, just make sure that works, right? So we pulled those out into methods so we can use them in places. Number, name, sunny weather. Okay. He is under the mat. Okay, working so far. So now what we could do is if we wanted to do this word by word by word, right? We could say, I can split. So I'm going to have a string builder. There's a new message. Oh, I already had a new message, didn't I? String builder. Backwards words. I don't know, sure. Equals a new string builder. And we can say this really cool method with split. Let me grab it here. So you give a string and you call split on it, and it's going to give you a string array split off a given token. I'm going to have a string array of, this is, we'll call it words, equals my new message dot split. Nope, split. Yes, I want split. And you can split on all sorts of things here. We're just going to split on the space character. Okay, so it will take, every time there's a space, it will separate into different words. And then we can loop through. We can say for string word in words. Right, what I want to do, I want to take my backwards words and I want to append. No, I want to append. There we go. I want to scramble the word. Scramble. And then I probably want to put those spaces back in, right? So we'll append a space after that. Okay, and then let's see if we can print out our backwards words. So it should take each individual word, right, split on a space. Every time it sees a space, it's going to just chunk it off here. There. Oh, that's wrong. The key is under the mat. So it's not great. Oh, they're not backwards, right? They're just scrambled. I forgot. They're scrambled words. We should rename that. Scrambled words. Refactor, rename. Scrambled. Nice. So each word got its own scrambling happened, right? That took every other character. Right, took the evens and then the odds and just mixed them up. Right, so we have scrambled words. Now what if we wanted to scramble that one up again? Do you think it'd be any more gibberishy than this one? It's like you could do layers and layers of this, especially if we're like splitting here by our spaces. You could do some fun stuff. Does that make sense? We could even scramble this one again more, right? Scramble. Let's scramble the scrambled words. Two string. Let's see what that one looks like. So we scramble it first and then scramble it again. He is under the mat. All right. Yeah, doesn't look too much more different, but then if we just unscramble this one, it still won't be unscrambled. You have to unscramble every word inside of it again, just to add a little bit more of nonsense. How you guys doing? We're just having fun playing with substrings and the string builder. So split's really handy. You can do a lot of things with split to get, usually we'll call them like the tokens out. A dad joke. Oh, you guys got it. You guys got it. You must be bored already. That's okay. This is a rough chapter. It's a rough chapter. Let's do a dad joke. Try and break it up here. Why does my phone say, okay, sure. This is a new one I just found for you guys. I thought you'd like this one. So I was on a boat with a couple of friends, and my friend happens to smoke. And sure, I mean, he can make his own choices. I don't, but that's just me. So he can make his own choices. But he had forgotten to bring his lighter with him. And we're out in the middle of the boat. We're fishing because, fishing's so exciting, and sitting around in a boat. Okay, sure. But we were having fun fishing, but he wanted to smoke. But he forgot his lighter. I said, well, do you have a couple cigarettes? Do you have more than one cigarette? He said, yeah, I've got my pack. I got a couple left here in the pack. So I took one and I threw it in the water. I said, great, now the boat's a cigarette lighter. He was not amused. All right. Let's see, we did our wrapper classes, we did parsing, we did toStrings, mins and maxing. Yeah, I think we're actually about done with chapter 9. So there's some more string methods you can play with. Mr. Gaddis has lots of examples. Just know that they are things you can do, but the cases for using them are relatively specific. You need to be doing a very specific thing for some of these to work. The substrings is cool, or index of, or all that matching is fun. So you can do some figuring out of what's in a string by checking for indexes of stuff, by taking chunks of it, by splitting it, those sorts of things. Scrambling stuff is fun, and that sort of nonsense. Oh, excuse me. Is this the chapter? Did he get into the string? I don't think he did. We talked about a cipher. I don't remember seeing that. Let me look through it again here. No, I don't see it. So there's a cool method. You can turn a string into a character array, and then you can do something with the characters, which is fun. I don't see it. Yeah, he's not doing anything interesting in here, though. That's okay. Yeah, okay. Cool. So how you guys feeling about poker? Again, definitely need to take it little bit by little bit by little bit, right? If you just jump right into it, it's easy to get overwhelmed with what we're trying to accomplish. But if you can just break it down into, okay, how do we put 5 cards in a hand? Great. How do we figure out a hand rank? And just take one rank at a time, right? Let's look at, how do I figure out if I have a 4 of a kind? Sure. How do I figure out if I have a straight? How do I figure out if I have a flush? And just take each one of those as its own individual problem, right? I think it'll work out a little better for you. Let's see, where did I have? That's what I was looking for. Oh, excuse me. I gotta get those Project 1s graded tonight. Oof, that'll be fun. Hopefully there were no surprises there. I'll take a look. No, so for the testing, really I'm only concerned about poker hand at this point. Like the card class, there's not really anything to test. Deck, anytime you're doing something random, it's more difficult. There's ways to get around it, but we just don't have the time to get into that right now. So I just need testing at poker hand. And really that's just making sure like the way we compare hands works. And I say, hey, this hand beats the other hand, right? Or tie breaks. Say, if 2 hands are 4 of a kinds, which one is better? Right? Did I actually tie break them correctly? So that's what we're looking for. So there's going to be actually a lot of unit tests, right? And it doesn't need to be like I'm testing 4 of a kind against all of the other possible hands, right? You don't need to do that because we're still getting the code coverage, checking it once. Does it beat any other hand? Which is cool. Right? But you probably want to be testing each hand's tie breaks to make sure that if they should be the same, they're the same, or that if one is greater than the other, you're actually calculating it correctly. Because some of those are a little bit tricky, right? But that's the goal here with the unit tests. I'm going to add in the rubric for you guys. Right, there we go. Let me do that. Let me take all this, put it over in a little notepad here so I can actually see what I asked you to do. And we'll build out that rubric. Okay. This is project 2. There we go. So I didn't have this in sooner. Let me get this loaded up. All right, so complete or missing. All right, this is our class has enums for face and suit. Okay, point there. The class can give a random card from the deck. Now, those are pretty straightforward there. Oops, let me put that down here. That's right. We wanted card class a copy constructor. Really, this was just for fun. Like it's not very useful because card is a read-only kind of class, but it's okay. We're just going to build a copy constructor for fun. I have to sneeze. Oh. Okay, it went away. Whew, that was weird. Okay. Poker hand class. So poker hand is where the bulk of these points are. Poker hand. Right. Constructor. Accepts 5 cards and stores them in sorted order. If you don't sort them, you're just asking for all sorts of trouble. So just do it, right? This is the easiest way to go about it here. These levels, these levels. Okay. Overall score. That's a silly thing. Okay. So then we're going to have all, let's say all the different hands, right? So poker hand, we'll say, pull up that list of poker hands. Poker hands. There we go. List of poker hands. So again, there's no pipe of a kind. So straight flush is the best here. Straight flush. Flush is best rank and unit tests. We have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ranks. So I think we'll throw those in there. That ought to work. Flush with unit tests. Flush, straight flush, hand rank. Okay. Hydration, yes. Thank you, software developer. Got to stay hydrated. So after a straight flush was 4 of a kind, right? 4 of a kind. Hand rank with unit tests, right? 4 of a kind. Yep. And then full house. And then straight. Oh, no, flush, then a straight. Flush. Straight, and 3 of a kind, 3 of a kind, and then a 2 pair. Oh, come on, 2 pair. So those are not supposed to show there. Oh well. 2 pair. Just the pair, and then a high card, high card. Okay, so 1 point for each of those, getting them done right, which includes their tie breaks, them scoring above or below other hands, and their unit tests. Okay, and then 2 more points in here for the rest of the simulator. What else were we doing? Where players could bet. Allow raise $1 or call, and the game runs till the player quits or runs out of money. user call, and then the computer will randomly accept the raise or fold. Right, so half the time they'll fold, half the time they'll call our raise after if we decide what we want to do, and then it just runs until we run out of money. I think that's 15 points. That ought to do it. I think I got everything in here. Right, cool. Any questions about that? I think that'll work out. So the bulk of the points there come from having those hands, but if you can't figure them all out, then you're only going to lose 1 point per rank that you can't figure out. Yeah, the game part, probably easiest just to put in the main piece. Like the poker hand class should just do this comparison stuff. Right? It should take the 5 cards and it should be able to see how it does versus another poker hand. Right? Does it win? Does it lose? Or does it draw? Right? Win, return a win, lose, or draw versus another. Right, so like poker hand dot play other poker hand or something, whatever method you want to call it, right? Whoops, yeah. So accept another one, compare itself. And return win, lose, or draw enum. If you want to get fancy, you can use compare to and return a positive, negative, or 0 value. That's only if you want to. To be fancy, use the compare to and return positive, 0, or negative. Compare to. But that's only if you want to. Okay. All right, questions about poker hands. You guys understand how the tie breaks work here? We're 4 of a kind. Whoever has the higher 4 of a kind is going to win. You can't actually tie. Same with full house. Whoever has the higher 3 of a kind is going to win. You can't actually tie. Flushes can tie. Straights can tie. 3 of a kinds can't tie. Whoever has the higher 3 of a kind wins. 2 pairs can tie, 1 pairs can tie, and high cards can tie. So if in a flush, you check the highest card, and then the next highest card, and then the next highest card, the next highest card, the next highest card. If any one of these 5 cards is higher than the other player's card of that position, you win. So like if both your high cards are the same, both your 4th cards are the same, both your 3rd cards are the same, but your 2nd card is higher than their 2nd card, you'll win because you have a higher card. Straights, it's, you start at one number and go down. So, and don't worry about having aces low. Just you only use aces high. It'll make life so much easier with the straight. Right? So don't have ace 2, 3, 4, 5 as a straight. Just ace, king, queen, jack, 10 is a straight. Okay? It'll make life easier for you. Now, 3 of a kinds. So 2 pairs. If your 2 pairs match, then your 5th card could be the tiebreaker. Or if your 1st pair matches, your 2nd pair is the tiebreaker, which the 2nd pair is higher. There's a little bit of extra logic that has to happen in all of those tie breaks. Okay? 1 pair, check your pair, and then check your other 3 cards, and then check your high card. On and on and on. Okay? I know it's going to feel like a lot, but you want to take it 1 hand rank at a time and figure out, okay, given 5 cards, how do I figure out if you have this? How do I figure out if you have this? How do I figure out if you have this? Right? That part makes sense? Cool. So I don't actually have anything else to talk about for Chapter 9, so I think what we should do is take the extra time and get started on this project. Right, get ahead. If you have general questions, please post them in the class channel in Discord so that everyone else gets to see your question and the answer. That's super helpful for people. You're also welcome to message me, email me, call me, text me, however you want to get a hold of me. It's fine. Today is my crazy day, so I do not have any office hours until about 5:30 tonight, just 5:30 to 6 right before the evening class, which is a repeat of your guys' class. But you guys are always welcome to hang along in the evening class as well if you want. So we've got to talk about wrapper classes and text processing. We already talked about the solution to the project. Okay? All right, other than that, I think we're all set then. Yeah, get started, ask me questions. Let me know how things are going. I'll be working on grading all those project 1s. Should be a lot of fun. Okay. I'm just pausing, seeing if there's any other questions. If not, we'll call it a day. Should we see if anyone's around? There might be some folks around we could go hang out with. Let's see. Is anyone on Twitch? We can go raid someone's channel for fun. I don't know. Doesn't look like a lot of people are around. We already did psych, right? Once. Who's this person? Oh, games. Yeah, we can go hang out and do some games. Might have been here before, but that's all right. All right, just for fun if you want. Oh, why didn't that come up? Oh, it's thinking about it there. Oh, it's starting soon. I don't know. Maybe she's not actually streaming. Forget it. You guys just have a good one. You can go find someone else to watch later. You guys take care. See you around.